Didn't even get to browse.
Hey guys, welcome. ZaiZoe here, just inside Savage 8.9, having a look at their raids. And some of you have been asking me for a long time, can we get in? Can we get in? If you want to get in, you have to be over 4800s to click join for your first time joining. You do sometimes see that there are a little bit lower trophies at the bottom. We try and cycle those players around. We do have other players with other clans and other commitments that kind of hop in and out at times as well. So you are in danger of being cycled if you are down at the bottom, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. I mean, those are the spots that are going to get you cycled the quickest. So try to join the clan at a 4800s. Next season, I think we're going to try and do a push. I'm going to try and see if I can get the clan motivated. Let's just see how high up there we can get one last time. I say one last time. It could be 2, 3, 4 more times. Who knows where the outcome of the game will go. As I see it right now, it is slowly fading away. There seems to be less and less pushers. Things are more orientated now about clan games and doing other stuff, and definitely still pushers out there, but there are less. So if you want to come join, that's kind of what you got to do. Get to that 4800s before you even think about coming to click join, and that'll help you out. Now, as far as what strats to use, that's going to be on you, what you find you're most comfortable with and what works best for you. I find going for just the straight 50% strat, no Town Hall on Town Hall 11s. That is going to be your main base you'll be hitting once you exceed the 4700s. So that is why I'm kind of talking in advance of. Under the 4700s, I liked Lavalunian personally, because Lavalunian is what 3-stars this base. You would probably not 3-star this base with the Baby Loon strat. It has just enough defense that you might do it if everything went 100% right, but definitely with Lavalunian, it's a takedown. Town Hall 9s are usually 3-star takedowns with Lavalunian. Once you get up to that 4700s, that's where I kind of like to switch over to the Baby Dragons. I find I see way more Town Hall 11s than I do 10s or 9s, as well as you could also go with the ground. However, personally, I seem to think that the Baby Dragons is the safest strat for just going for the 50%. You're not going to get as many Town Halls with it, of course, but 50%'s for sure. And like on this attack where it comes to the ground, I don't think there's any attack better at getting in there and getting the Town Hall. If your objection is to just get in, get the Town Hall, and get out, you've done all you've needed to do. However, the 50% would be nice if you can tag that Town Hall too, and that's where this strat I find isn't as strong as the Baby Dragons. However, like I said, the Baby Dragons, you can't really get them funneling in there and get into that Town Hall. Usually there's just too much going on. The Volks get up in there no problem on a quick funnel, so it's going to be up to you what you decide to use, whether you're going to go with ground or whether you're going to go with air. Town Hall 9, to get to 5k, you don't need gems. I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't need gems. Sure, you're going to have to wait a little bit in between raids, maybe for your troops to cook and stuff like that. But remember, as you get higher and higher and raids take longer and so on and so forth, you will have lots of troops cooked. Your heroes will be half healed on the way out. So you don't really need to spend a lot of gems. You don't need to put any shields on. You don't need to do that. It does help. I'm not going to lie. It is a huge help and an advantage to put on those shields, especially if, let's just say, we just finished our session, we've gained 50 cups, put on a shield, and then raid down that shield, and then do your session, and then put on another shield, and then raid that shield down. Of course, you've already probably exceeded your daily limit of being on, I'll tell you, that's going to be about 12 to 16 hours of raiding time right there, being the 2 sessions are going to be 12 hours alone. But an extreme gain, you could gain 200-300 cups in just a day or two without taking any defense. So when you're around that 4400s to 4900s, whatever, if you want to use the shields, I mean, I do recommend using them, but you don't need them. You don't even need them to float up there. You just need to make sure that you get on every day and that you at least attack enough bases to make back yesterday's loss. So if yesterday you lost -20, guess what? You only have to get 21 cups today to make a gain. Right? Now, if that defense is, -10, well, now you've actually made a gain of 11 cups versus over where you were. So you kind of have to hope that things go well in that aspect. You will have times where it will go the other way and you'll actually have minus cups during your session, but that's really on you. If you're doing a lot of lost raids, you're doing something wrong. You should really check what you're doing because you're doing something wrong. You're taking bases you shouldn't be taking. You're taking chances you don't need to take, especially to just get to 5K. If we're talking after 5K, well, yeah, then, you might have a really bad day because depending where you are, you might not have a choice but to take the bases that you see, even though you know some of them are going to give you trouble. But there's still no reason to take it. Just hit next. If it's a base you know you struggle on or have trouble with, or have had trouble with, and you don't feel comfortable, just hit next. Another base eventually is going to pop up. And I always find it a lot easier to tell myself I should have taken that base than I shouldn't have taken that base. When I have to tell myself that I shouldn't have taken a base, it usually makes me mad because that means you probably lost. However, if you hit next and then you go, I should have taken that base, I bet you I would have gotten it. At least you're not out anything. You didn't lose any cups. You didn't lose any time. So I always find it better to say I should have than I shouldn't have. And defense-wise, well, you guys have seen from my other videos, as far as defense goes, I mean, be prepared to get anything. It could be from -6 3-star to a -59 3-star. That, unfortunately, all comes down to luck. I'm not sure if there's an actual system for that. So, as far as defense base goes, again, you're mostly going to be found by a higher town hall than you. I mean, you will get the odd time where a lower town hall finds you, and, maybe you'll win a defense. It's possible. But you also get the times where you just win defense because the person was dropping anyways, regardless of what your base was. So I actually like to always put up an art base on defense. I don't know that it actually does anything. I have had higher town halls at higher leagues tell me that they've found my 7 and they skipped it. And when I asked them why in the heck would you skip it, they said it just wasn't worth it to them. There was no loot in my base and no real cups to gain, so to them they weren't going to waste their time. So that's why I make my base an art base, hoping that they'll use just enough troops that they'll trigger my shield, they'll be able to 3-star me, and I'll be worth enough that they'll actually take me. Now, Town Hall 9 is a bit different, of course. You're always offering up more loot if you're full than a Town Hall 7. So, you might not want to put up an art base, and of course, one day maybe you will put up an art base, and you'll have a -7 defense, and you'll be like, yeah. And then the next day you'll have -59, and you'll curse your art base. But it might not have had anything to do with the art base. I mean, if you look at the player that attacked you, you will be able to judge whether the person was going to 3-star you or not, with or without an art base. If it's a Town Hall 11 attacking you and Max Lavalunian, yeah, he's probably going to 3-star you. Same thing as if it's a Town Hall 10 with Max. So, he's probably going to 3-star you unless he nubs up and the troops go all wrong. But for the most parts, you're going to be 3-starred. And I gotta say, I'm not quite sure that I would have even thought I'd have been able to get into that town hall. I'm positive if I had to open the wall up and drop my heroes down, they still would have went up and around anyways. Some people have such good training. See, in a base like this, I mean, it's... Whether you're using Baby Loons or Lavalunian, I'll take a Town Hall 10. That's why I used Lavalunian up to about 4700s, because I found a lot more 9s and 10s than I did 11s. After 4700s, I found a lot more 11s, of course. But for 9s and 10s, I don't really find a difference when it comes to... Well, wait a minute. Let me correct that. For 10s. For Town Hall 10s, I don't find a single difference between using the Baby Loon strat, All Dragon strat, Golems, Wizards, Valk strat, or Lavalunian. I mean, I find when it comes to a Town Hall 10 as a Town Hall 9, you can 2-star almost every Town Hall 10. You just have to learn to use your troops, learn to work their funnel, and I swear I don't see a difference in those when it comes to a Town Hall 10. When it comes to a Town Hall 11, I've already said, I honestly think that the two strongest, obviously, are the Golems, Wizards, Valks, and the Baby Dragons. Of course, both are different. I think you can 2-star better than you can with the ground versus the air, but I think the air is safer for not taking that risk as much. But when it comes to Town Hall 9s, that's where I completely disagree with the strats. Dragons, no good. All dragons, dragons and loons, well, it is not a 3-star strat on Town Hall 9 versus 9. It happens, and if the base is right and everything goes right, but ideally, you're looking at a 2-star strat right there. Baby Loons, same thing. Baby Dragons and Loons, you're looking at usually a 2-star strat. When it comes to Lavalunian or Golems, Wizards, Valks, I find that that is the 3-star strat against the Town Hall 9s. Now, remember, you could use with that combo as well the Queen's Walk. I know a lot of guys are Queen's Walking it. Some are using the Hogs in there. But I just find for a simple, easy strat to learn that going with the Golems, Wizards, Valks, or more so the Lavalunian, really does take down the 9s easier. It's going to be up to you, of course. You're going to have to find which strat it is that you like best. But as I've always said in all my videos, once you start a strat, I think that's the one you should stick with. That is the one that you will start to look at bases different, right? I look at this base, and I wouldn't have hit this base the way that he just hit it. Because I carry one set of EQ with Lightning, and then I also have my 3 haste and my 1, Rage. So I look at this base a bit different than how a person going at this base with all Zap Quakes. Same as if you're going with, Golems, Wizards, Valks. Right now, I'd have told you, well, right up at that top right side there, well, halfway down where the Wizard Tower is and the 2 cannons, I'd have busted those walls open. You'd have started your funnel there, and you'd have come in hard trying to clear out that way your outside edges, and then down on the bottom edges. Probably would have 2-starred, and you wouldn't have triggered the CC. So there is a difference on how strats are going to go. I probably still would have done the same thing on this base. Even though that air blower is pointing back and over, you knew that around the town hall was not the Teslas because they're over being upgraded. So you got a really good chance of coming in there from that town hall and grabbing the 2-star. Probably going to throw down my CC Dragon, my couple Loons, and a couple of Baby Dragons after I've got the funnel down on that part. Go in, take it out. So that's why I say you should stick with the strat that you've learned, because you will look at bases differently. Everybody's going to look at a base according to how they've learned to use the strat they use. So just remember that. If it's not working for you at first, it might. You're just a little rusty at it. This one I still can't understand. Prime example to show you what not to really do there. Why would you send your loons into their death? I personally would not have sent my loons to their death at that air defense. I'd have done it a little bit different, but if it gets you the 50%, that's what it does. I think that the The Barb King would have gotten in there and got down that air defense anyway, so there was no sense wasting any loons over in that corner. So you also want to conserve your troops. Now, this base is one of those tricky ones where it should be easy to get, but it depends traps. It depends traps, it depends Teslas. Good chance on this one the Teslas are to the inside, not to the outside by those air defenses. Since our king and queen already tested at the bottom, we can kind of assume that they're probably not going to be at the top as well. Although with anti-3-star bases nowadays, you never know where people are going to put stuff. This is definitely not what you would call your anti-3-star base, but... And as you can see, sitting at around that 30% before the eagle triggers, that's where I like to see it for myself and for everybody else. Have a little bit of patience, hang in there, don't start spamming troops too fast. Just take your time, be patient, you'll get there. Anyways, that's it for me in this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Peace.